Yo, what is up? Flash Anime here, bringing you a manga and anime concept as a tag Hockey created for, I guess for people that create their own anime or manga type thing. It's pretty interesting. I mean, I've heard a few of these so far, and I was tagged by King Taichi, so figured I'd get mine out there and open so everyone can hear my story ideas. And mine is basically called Alpha World. That's the name of my, I guess, series type thing I'm working on. And I have like the first, I don't know, maybe first 5 pages of this written up somewhere. I've been kind of lazy with it, but the genres are sci-fi, supernatural, school, shonen, and maybe a bit of ecchi, because you gotta have something to bring the fans in, maybe. I don't know. And originally it would probably start off as like a light novel. First, just to get the concept down and all that kind of thing. And if it got probably be a manga afterwards of this series. And for anime, if it really did get adapted into anime, I could see it being like 25 episodes for a first season, because mine is kind of long. And if I had to go with a studio to animate this, maybe JC Staff or Kyoto Animation. I like their stuff. JC Staff more on like index levels, because they do good stuff with that as far as like animation and action goes. Even though their bread and butter seems to be more romance, slice of life than anything. So you're probably wondering what's the story of this weird sounding anime or manga. Well, for mine, it would be take place in the distant future. I'm not sure what time setting I have this set. I don't think I even thought that far ahead of this, but my story is basically in the distant future. A failed experiment from I guess a well-known scientist triggers a rip in dimensions and allows several people from different dimensions and worlds to travel into, I guess, Earth or on Earth. And we don't know if these beings are truly evil or good or not. But my main story would take place maybe a few decades later, where things have calmed down. They still have the failed experiment in the beginning, but yeah, we break down to, I guess, everyone's adapting to life with these different beings for different worlds and different times for that. I guess you could think maybe on the lines of maybe Core Zombie or Horizon, where you have several different things existing in the same universe. For mine, I'll have character types like I have humans, and like scientists, magical girls. Supernatural will be like zombies, ghosts, maybe warlocks, and that's like the tier 1 basically of the races and classes I'm going to have in this type of series. Tier 2 would be something like I have angels and demons in the works, maybe gods and possibly alien characters in the future, to be more of like the very last type of race that joins this series. And to break down even more, the humans, I guess the science in this world has developed so far that they can give people special abilities, sort of like Index and Railgun. But these powers were developed to give humans a fighting chance against all these higher beings, like all the supernatural stuff, the wizards and things like that, people that use magic. So I'll break it down with human characters. Most of them have superpowers. They either have superpowers or they have, or they're just very smart and they can build things like machines or mechs. For me, I like having a world that has tons of different options and variety. And for that, I would do like the humans and scientists would be like a chapter by themselves, focusing on their development and what's happened to them since that experiment went wrong and the dimensions were ripped. And then next, after that one would be like a volume 2 would be like the magical aspect of this series. You have the magical girls, which would be, for me, I would divide these all in like schools. Like, okay, the humans have their schools, and you have the magical girls and the supernatural people in their own school. So you could kind of divide the world up into a bunch of pieces. But the magical aspect would be, like I said, the magical girls. There'd be like an all-girls school. You have like wizards, that would be maybe a Harry Potter type thing, where you have both guys and girls in the same area, and they would be fighting. Their main enemy would be like zombies, ghosts, warlocks, and my idea for their school would be like there'd be like the main necromancer. He's like the principal. So he comes from a world that uses like necromantic magic and stuff to bring people out from the dead, but he can only do it so far where they come back as undead. He can't make them human again or anything like that. I have some concept drawings of some of these characters, so I'll probably put these in the video, but some original stuff I'm working on. And the tier 2 focuses on the higher power, I guess, like demons and angels, which I kind of think of them as higher than like anything right now in my little world. And gods, maybe a far-fetched idea, but I'd put them in a higher tier because they're all the gods. Like, can't really. Having to fight a human would be kind of silly. But you know, that's why I gave the humans superpowers in this world, so they have a fighting chance and things like that. And the aliens might be like, I guess angels and demons and gods would be the third chapter, or third book. While the aliens, have to pair them with something else later, but the aliens would be on the side of maybe the humans or the evil people. So I guess you could put them on either side, being good or bad. And I got inspiration from a series called Sengoku Collection, which is a I think 24 episode series, which each episode focused on a different Sengoku general, and they would get, some of them would got 2 episodes, some of them only got 1 episode, but I would focus on something like that, where each category of the character types I have, like the angels and all them, I would have one character that kind of is like the main focus of that chapter, or that chapter or episode. For the humans, I have a main character I'm thinking about. He's like a typical shonen type lead. He's a young guy, probably like his probably 16, 17, maybe 18, around there, going to high school with all these people that have special abilities and things like that. And maybe more a techish school, not really super high tech, but for his power, I was thinking of something kind of, I'm not sure if it's original or been done before. I'm pretty sure it's been done before, but with my guy, he doesn't really have a power of his own, but when he touches an object owned by someone else with power, like, okay, there's a girl that uses fire. Okay, if she owns like a watch or something, he touches the watch, he gains her power temporarily until he finds a new object to touch, and you can get different abilities that way. I thought that would be kind of cool. I like that type of idea where someone can mimic someone's other ability and kind of use it on their own. That kind of gives him a slight disadvantage because he can't master that power right away. So I could do something silly with that, with powers he doesn't want that he could get by accident and be like, oh well. Such as becoming a magical girl. If he touched one, the girl's like by accident, like bumps into her, he gains magical girl powers and doesn't realize it till a fight breaks out and he's kind of stuck with that power until he finds something else. So that'd be my main human. For like a scientist in that kind of archetype, I would put, I had an idea where I would use, to have a scientist in the beginning of the story. I would make something that he had 2 daughters, and both of them are kind of in hiding because of what their dad did years ago. So, but with them, they're kind of both super geniuses, you know. So I would make them like, they build robots, mechs, things like that. And I was gonna have one of them be a teacher at one of the schools. That way, you could have some interaction between the main character, the human guy, and the scientist girl. And the next type would be magical girls, just your typical regular, run-of-the-mill magical girl. Nothing special with that. Well, I was gonna do something where you could put some evil magical girls in there, somewhat. Maybe they're not like wanting to kill people, but their sense of justice is different than the normal girls. And they would be like in a normal girl, like all girl school, like academy or something like that. And supernaturals, like I said before, would be a main necromancer who is like a principal of the school, and he basically runs the whole thing, keeping his students alive, because with his power, he's allowed to bring students back to life. So you could do a bunch of things with that, where zombies would, you have like a character, I have a character just a zombie girl that would, she would probably die a few times in the series and come back. Always kind of different, maybe. So I had an idea with her. It's kind of interesting. And angels, I was gonna do the same thing with the magical girls. They could be either good or bad, doesn't matter. and have a concept drawing for one of those characters. And gods, I haven't really worked on them yet, and aliens, same with them. Still in the planning stages, but I had a whole idea where I would do these school versus school like tournaments. Say the graduating class of that school year would enter a tournament to fight, just to test their, I guess, powers on everyone else. So you could have interaction between zombies versus the scientists, or magical girls versus the humans, and angels, and so on. So that would be my graduation present for them, would be fighting in a tournament, able to use their powers and go all out. So in the long run, I'm not sure what the main villain would be, but I would probably figure out something later on how I would do with this series. But hope it wasn't too confusing. So yeah, basically for me, I love shows that have multiple things going on at once, multiple genres kind of like mashed up together in one big crazy mess. So yeah, if you liked, hope you liked my idea, and I don't know who I'm gonna tag with this. I might tag, I guess, maybe Anime Savage, Animegamingnerd, and I'm not sure who else, but yeah, just those two right now. But of course, I guess you could always participate in this if you wanted to. So, this has been Fosh Anime with my anime manga concept tagged by Hockey. Thanks again.